Hey, what's up, everybody? This is, the first episode we are not able to record because of weather, snow.
Hello, everybody. Aaron Weber here, host of the Land podcast, reporting from a snowy Nashville, Tennessee, unfortunately.
Hello, folks, and hey, Bear. Hope you guys are doing well. Sorry we didn't do an episode this week. We are stuck at home, as you can see. I think we could have done an episode. I just don't think those guys know how to drive in snow.
We got a ton of it. We're not great at it in Nashville, so no one can get anywhere. So sorry to have to not be able to record one this week. We thought we could.
Since it's weather-related, we thought we would re-air the episode on weather. So check that out. It was a fun one. Dusty's not in it, but there was more of Aaron back then, so it all kind of evens out.
I hope you're having fun. I hope you're staying safe, staying warm. I was in St. Paul, Minnesota this past weekend. I had a good time at Laugh Camp Comedy Club. Thank you to everybody that came. And this weekend, I'm in Bozeman, Montana at Last Best Comedy. Coming out to Montana. I cannot get away from this weather. It feels like negative 26 when I left St. Paul. And I thought, oh, man, I can't wait for a little relief back in Nashville. And this is Nashville. This is what we've been dealing with. So thank you for listening. Sorry we can't do a regular podcast this week. We'll be back and better than ever next week when we do another podcast. So check out Dusty Slay's special, by the way. That came out. Nateland Podcast gets a special thanks at the end. That's very cool.
Working Man, it's so good. We're going to watch it now. Eleanor, can we watch Dusty or Peppa? Oh, okay. Well, so we're not going to watch it now, but eventually when we're done with Peppa, we're going to watch Dusty.
So check out Dusty's special. Check out this one. Tune in next week.
Sorry about that. We will be back next week.
Be safe. God bless. And, just have a great time.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Nateland podcast. I'm Nate, Brian Bates, Aaron Weber. Welcome, folks. Hello, folks. I said that almost accidentally. Like I forget. If I have something to do, I kind of forget. We are pre-recording this episode because I will be in California at the One Night Only tour. Already just happened, so hope you were there. Yeah, just so you know that we are pre-recording it. We actually still have some comments, though. Breakfast went through and just grabbed, some ones that weren't timely.
Yeah.
Just critical.
Timeless ones.
Picked a big one. Opened the gate with a big one. One comment, too. I got someone that said I wore my watch backwards because of the dial is on this side. That was like one of those like Facebook things that you see. It's so you don't hit the Siri button when you bend your wrist, and I was hitting it a lot. So you put the dial back here, and it never touches it, and then you can just change the screen.
Now your sleeve's going to touch it.
It's not enough of a problem, but I mean hitting it, especially when I golf, if I wore this, but any other time, it just always hits Siri. Siri just pops up, man, all the time.
Yeah. You know what I started doing? With the new iOS, you can program tapping the back of the phone.
Yeah. To be Siri.
You can do it to anything, but yeah, I set it to Siri for a while. I tapped the back of the phone accidentally a lot.
You talk to Siri quite a bit?
No, I didn't mean to. I would just tap it, and then by accident, then Siri would pop up. I don't know.
I feel like with Siri, you either don't do it or that's all you do. Like, that's how someone talks to it. I don't ever ask Siri anything.
I don't either.
But anybody else that does, my wife talks to Siri quite a bit. Or voice texting. I get audio text.
Yeah.
I get that a bit. Who does that? David Spade. A lot of audio text. First time I got one from, I was like, oh, I guess I'm listening to this text. I don't mind it. It's not as bad as you think.
Yeah.
It's like just saying it, and it's, it doesn't take as much time, and you just do it. I actually don't mind it as much as I thought I would. But at first I was like, what are we doing? what are we doing here?
We've gotten comments that way, and they're like, "This is too long to type out, so I'm just going to tell you." And then I have to just play clip after clip after clip.
Yeah.
Just like the worst story ever.
Yeah. Oh, and they know who they are.
Yeah.
Dr. Safdar Khan. Dr. Safdar Khan. Safdar. Safdar.
Safdar.
Safdar.
Yeah.
Safdar.
Dr. Khan.
Dr. Khan. Doctor. Fantastic podcast. I love listening to you, Banjo, and Aaron at the beginning of every operation day before I perform complex spinal surgery. Dude, we are. I mean, he is. What you be? What are you listening to? Nateland podcast. What's that? Are you the main guy, or is there other guy? That's what they ask him. Or you're just the guy that's in here now, and there's another guy. He's like, no, I'm the main.
When's the real doctor coming out?
Oh, that's
me.
great.
I'm Dr.
Wow.
Khan.
I'm Dr. Safdar Khan.
Hello, folks.
Hello,
Patients.
folks. He yells it into your open back. Hello, folks. I perform complex spinal surgery. It makes me laugh and puts me into a relaxed frame of mind before I start the day operating on sick patients. Once during an especially complicated surgery, when the room was very tense and we were under extreme stress, I just yelled, "Penguin!" to everyone's surprise. I proceeded to tell the OR team the story and had them play the clip on the OR monitors, and within minutes, everyone began chuckling. The room became noticeably less tense, and I'm grateful to report that patient did very, very well. Thanks again for the unbelievable work you guys are doing. Anytime you come up to Columbus in the future, I'd love to host you in the shoe on the field for an OSU Big Ten football game.
Wow.
I tell you what, a guy that's doing that kind of surgery, he's got tickets on the field.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a guy you want in your life, you know.
What if he said, sadly, the patient did not make it, but we were so much more relaxed.
I was hoping to introduce you guys to the patient, but obviously,
Yeah.
with the chaos that was going on, we
got real sloppy after that,
It
and it was a real problem.
Penguin. That's unbelievable. You know, we just did the episode you just watched about clutch performances. That's a clutch performance right there.
Yep.
Doing something like that, man. The amount of pressure that takes to just be, you know, you got to do hours and hours of it. You want to be someone's first guy. You think they ever say that right before you go under? They go, "Hey, you're my first time.
You're my first surgery."
They just whisper it to you, right? The last thing you hear, what was the last thing you heard? "Hey, I've never done this before." I remember I signed an autograph once, and I told the person, I go, "This is the first autograph I've ever signed."
Yeah.
And so I imagine that he does that too. "Hey, this is the first." He goes, "I mean, I'm freaking out, man." And he's like, "What's that?" And then you're just gone. Oh, that's awesome though. Sogorb. Soresogorb. Sogorb. Sogorb. Is that a real name? Sogorb. You think that is his real name?
This poor guy.
Sore?
Yeah.
Source.
I hope it's his name.
Oh man.
Sore. Get in here. Do you have to say the last name, or you just go Sore and he goes here? Every teacher.
Yeah, I don't
just
think
goes,
you need to be any
here,
more specific.
Sore. He just sits there, and the teacher's like,
Which one?
Sogorb. Oh, I thought it was the other Sore. I play your podcast while working, illustrating on my computer. Sometimes I spend large amounts of time without saving my progress because I forget to do so, and then my computer crashes and I lose all my work. Now I click save every time I hear Nate say "unbelievable," or every time he roasts bland bread. I haven't lost a single piece of work ever since. That's got to be frustrating. Everybody knows not saving something.
Golly.
All the time. When I've written out shows, like, which are way in my hat, Nate Bargatze show from the Feld. We send a bunch of these hats to Nigeria. Isn't that where they send things that don't go good?
President McCain hats too. Yeah.
Atlanta Falcons Super Bowl, like when they lost to the Patriots. But yeah, you type something out. It's a whole. You're just in the groove of like doing it, and then it just goes away, and you're like, oh. And then the next time is never as good. You're like, that's the gist of it, and you're like, it's not that good. Yeah, well, I lost it. Miriam Gregory. I've been a fan of the podcast since day one. Is that you think that's
These
right?
names all feel made up.
Yeah.
What's good?
Miriam
Yeah.
Gregory.
Source.
It feels like almost we were short on comments, and then
So Brian went in.
and Boat Ramp went in and then just said, just took
Source.
Segorb. Miriam Gregory.
Oh, it's the worst name I've ever heard. Oh man.
Yeah.
That's a real name.
Source.
I don't think he's going to turn around by the way we said
Yeah.
it. But
Sora's different.
it may be soiree.
Next one's Soda. 7. Which is these are all just George Costanza names that he came up with. Sora Segor.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It is, yeah.
Sore.
I got a good idea what that guy looks like. I
Thanks
feel
for
like
the comment.
you can picture a sore. You can picture him in your head. You're like,
Come on,
I feel like I don't know what they look like, but I think I could pick them.
Oh right.
If
yeah.
if you said there's 100 people standing in the crowd, one of them's named Sore, I'd be like, I feel pretty good. I could figure out who he is.
If you lined up
Sore.
Dr. Khan, Sore
Might be a
Segor,
woman.
and Miriam Gregory, I could tell you which one was sore. I'll tell you
Yeah.
that much.
Would you? Is Sore male or female? Sore feels like
It's
Soray.
gender
if it's-
neutral,
if it's
man.
if it's Soray,
Yeah, I'm going to
Soray would be
So
a lovely lady. Huh?
What?
you don't think Soray's a
these are all. I don't know.
these names are
These are our fans, Aaron, that you're laughing at.
Sorry, that's the worst name I've ever heard. All right.
Sore. Well, if it's Soray Segor.
Soray Segor
Soray
sounds
Segor.
like a Ukrainian ballet dancer or something.
That they could be big fans.
Oh, all right.
Soray Segorb doesn't sound as bad.
That's what I'm saying. That sounds
Yeah.
like a ballet
Sore
dancer
Segorb
from the
is
Eastern
is-
Europe.
Yeah, Soray Segorb. That actually
Sorry.
is a beautiful name now, and I'm gonna name my next daughter that. We're not having another daughter, but if I
Soray
find-
Bargatze.
Yeah, Soray Bargatze. I feel like if I find some little girl sitting out now on the side of the road and she lives with us, I feel like that's how you get a Soray in your family. They're not born into that family. You find them and they're put with that family. Miriam Gregory. Have we read this one?
No.
No, we started.
I've been a fan of the podcast since day one. I just want to say thank you for everything you've taught me. Since hearing all of your bombing stories and insults, I've been a lot better at taking myself less seriously. I recently had the chance to sing on TV for the first time, and I've never been more confident. I felt like it'd be okay to look stupid, and it would be a good story to tell after. But it went great, so thank you. Congratulations, Nate, Aaron, and Worried Whistle. I love you all. We need to hear her. We need to get a clip of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See it on TV. I'd love to see that. What is she saying on for TV?
I don't know.
It's crazy. Jonathan Red. This is a normal one. Is that more up your alley? You can't handle the taste of the fans we have around the world. You need an Alabama Jonathan Red, Johnny Red.
Johnny Red.
Does that make you feel better, Aaron? You feel like home? You and Johnny Red
No.
went boat fishing.
It does sound like we try to fix the problem. by
Yeah.
just-
That's Brian's like these names are getting a little too.
They might catch
crazy.
on to me after the
Yeah,
Miriam
we'll go
Grigor.
back. John Red.
This
Oh.
podcast seems like the elaborate plan of two best friends to get their other friend to eat an excessive amount of donuts. And when they finally do, they will end the podcast. They have been talking about it since episode 1 or 2, and I'm sure they thought Aaron would have done it by now. Love the show. It's the best part of my week. Goodbye, folks.
Thank you, Johnny Red. I've done it, just not on the show.
Johnny Red, he does it regularly. We can't get him on. It's like Bigfoot. Can't really catch him on tape. There's a lot of like fuzzy images.
We put up trail cams.
We put trail
That's
cams because he goes and eats it in the
Yeah.
woods.
Yeah.
Shame.
We can't figure out why, but the trail cams can never
Yeah.
get them. We don't know why, but it can never can.
All we know is 2 boxes go in and no boxes come out. We think he's littering as well. Yeah, we're gonna do it. That's gonna be a special one. We got to find the right time
Right.
to do it. I don't think, like I said, I don't think we can eat on air. I don't think that's
I don't know if there's
good.
ever going to be a right time for me personally.
I think we film it
But
and then
Right.
we filmed and then we put it out as a
Right,
I don't think there's ever a wrong time for you personally to do that.
I had Krispy Kreme
Thank you.
this past week. I have it a lot. I'm starting to feel it now, though. I can feel like my blood's getting thicker. You ever feel that?
It's like maple syrup.
Yeah, like you just like I
Oh,
said,
yeah.
I eat so bad. You're like, I feel like my blood's not moving as good as it should be, and I don't think I should feel that.
Yeah. No,
I
you
think
shouldn't.
about it. I had
Feel it
donuts that
slowing
day
down.
after though. It didn't stop me, but I remember going, I got to stop this. This is my arm feels weird. Grant Weldon. I teach 5th graders, and I have to switch classes because the teacher rotates now instead of students rotating. Oh wow! So this students stay in the room, the teachers move.
Yeah.
Is that because of COVID?
Mhm.
When I go into the class, I enter saying, "Hello, folks," and they say, "Hello, Mr. Weldon." It's so sweet, and they don't know why I do it, but I love it every time.
That's cool.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
Good for you. Good for you. That's so they're just switching, moving around, almost spreading COVID around, trying to give it to all the kids. They go. One teacher has it. We don't tell them which one, and they see if they can guess. Mike Pugh. Hello, folks. When my wife and I married in 1978, there was a still law on the books in Michigan that the clerk had to ask, "Are you an idiot?" Thinking we were Bargatze level comedians, we both said, "I'm not, but this one is," while pointing our fingers at each other. Of course, the clerk did not crack a smile. I can only assume she had heard that one. She had heard that one before. Keep up the great work. Also, we love to see you guys live. We just bought our son and his wife a ticket to the LA Drive-In show. Mike Pugh will be at the Drive-In show.
He was at the drive.
Oh, he was.
Yeah.
Oh, he was at the drive-in because we're recording this. Hope you enjoyed it because we left early. It's that is Are You an Idiot's not a. I'm not against that.
The crazy law in Michigan, where I mean, an idiot is technically a mentally challenged person that maybe shouldn't be getting married,
Yeah,
and
I'm not against it.
Yeah.
I asked both of y'all before we did this podcast, "Are y'all idiots?" And I said, "Because I am, and I don't need more than me." That's not not a. Just ask the person you're about to marry.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, but just heads up, real quick. Are you an idiot by any chance? And if
I
they
don't
go,
think it's on the books anymore because I think people feel like mentally challenged people should be able to get married if they so
now
choose.
it's, "Are you stupid?" A little more, publicly acceptable.
Yeah.
If you are a big Nateland fan, you know that we've been drinking AG1 for a couple of years. We all started drinking AG1 daily and really feel like we're doing something good for our daily health. That's because AG1 is a foundational nutrition supplement that supports your body's universal needs like gut optimization, stress management, and immune support. Since 2010, AG1 has led the future of foundational nutrition, continuously refining their formula to create a smarter, better way to elevate your baseline health. Not only did I replace my multivitamin with AG1, but I love that every scoop also includes magnesium and B vitamins for energy support. It takes under a minute and costs less than $3 a day, and it tastes great. Since we travel so often, we use the single-serving travel packs so we never have to miss a day when we're on the road. You can get free monthly delivery to make it even easier. If there's one product we had to recommend to elevate your health, it's AG1, and that's why we partnered with them for so long. So if you want to take ownership of your health, start with AG1. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 plus K2 and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase exclusively at drinkag1.com/Nate. That's drinkag1.com/Nate. Check it out.
Nick Herka. Hey guys, speaking of what would you do moments, I have a Starbucks related story, and I was wondering, what'd you do in my place? I was in line at a Starbucks, and a lady in front of me was rifling, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Was rifling through her huge cluttered purse to get out of her wallet. As she pulled out her wallet, I also took mine out of my pocket, and when I did, about $3 in quarters also fell out of my pocket. The lady in front of me immediately went, "Oh gosh, sorry," and started picking up all the change, thinking she had dropped it. She was so confidently picking it up and putting it in her purse that I didn't know what to do, so I just didn't say anything and let her keep it. Anyway, reminded me of something you guys would talk about. Love the podcast. Thanks for all of it.
Ooh, man.
We need to get some better stuff to talk about. If he's like, this is these guys
right up their alley.
This
dude.
is, I mean, he goes, this would be one of the top episodes. I do like talking about this stuff though, and I would let her have it. I
You
would
would?
let her. Yeah, oh yeah. It would be it matter the situation.
Have you seen this happen? Brett? You nodded like you've seen this.
No, I'm just saying. I would. I mean, was
He
it 3?
carries a lot of change. He's at the age where you have change on you quite a
I've
bit.
got some hard candy in my pocket.
Yeah. When she says, "Oh gosh, sorry," and start picking up all the change, I would. If she said something, if she didn't say anything, I would have just picked it up. But if she said something like that, I would have probably just been like, just let her have it.
Mm-hmm.
If it gets too many people start paying attention, I mean, there's a big commotion. So then people start looking. I probably would have done what he did and just been like, it's over.
That's one of those things. It's easy to be like, oh, I would have said this, but in the moment, you just think this is not worth.
Is it worth? It's how quick do you think? I a lot of times think about what would happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I say it's mine, and then she disagrees. Now in an argument over change on the floor,
right?
And so, do I want to be in that argument?
The only reason I feel like you should do it is to keep her from feeling awkward and scrambling to pick up all this.
Right.
Say, no, that was on me.
Yeah, well, you help her. But she dropped the purse. Put her purse, get out.
He dropped the coins.
I would have done exactly what this guy did, which is
he dropped it. He goes, no, that's mine. Yeah, $3.25 is a lot.
12.
Yeah.
And everybody loves to have quarters.
Yeah, quarters that's about the only change you want.
Yeah.
I tell you, one time I was driving down the road and there was a homeless guy on the side, and I had all this change, so he's going up asking for money, and I go, I don't have any bills, but I got all this. Do you want all this change? And he's like, yeah, sure. I give him this big handful of change, and he goes, thanks. And then I watch him just walk away. He takes about 10 steps, and he just throws all the change off the side.
Wow. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. That's pretty good. He didn't want that change.
No.
Well, how much do you think you gave him?
Probably $3 worth.
In quarters?
But not in quarters.
No,
He'd have kept the quarters.
Not in quarters. He would have kept the quarters for sure.
Yeah.
You kept the quarters.
That's right.
Yeah. NRS Automotive. Is this a company? NRS Automotive. Since the podcast is a clean podcast, does it automatically rule out the possibility of having some of your potty mouth comic friends as guests? For example, Big J. It does not rule it out. If Big J was here, I don't necessarily want to do a Zoom, so that's why it's kind of got to be people here. But if Jay comes to town, Jay could probably stay with us, and if he stayed with us, I'd have him on the podcast. I would tell him, it's like, hey, we try to be clean. If he's not, I would just beep stuff out. Is honestly what I would do. But Big J's done TV. It's close though. Big J would be tough. I know Big J's done some late night shows, and it's hard. But Big J's so funny. We're talking about random things,
right?
But there's something that's even harder to keep guys like that clean is when they talk. Especially because the bonfire, which is him and Soder, so good, and they're just talking. So talking and like this is where it's hard to control. I always think if you're trying to stop cursing, or if you say a lot of people in regular life could curse too. They feel they curse too much in just regular life. It's start weaning it out in some regular conversations. Just think, I'm going to go to this house and I'm not going to curse, and that way you can learn to hold it back, and that's how you practice it. And so but yeah, I would have Jay on. Obviously, we'd be thrilled. Get Laura on. Get rid of who. Hello, welcome to Nateland. This is Big J Okerson, Laura Bargatze.
Would anyone notice if you didn't say that?
Would they? I don't know. Who's Jay? Who's Laura? Both offensive. Ben Kissam. Hi, guys. Question for an aspiring comic in Denver. I haven't done stand-up since March. I was about a year in at the time, starting to find my voice on stage. Cases are rising here again. I just heard from a public official they don't really anticipate the city being open again until next June. If you were faced with this as a newer comic, how would you handle it? Would you pursue something else like a podcast or YouTube videos? Or should I just move to the South where coronavirus isn't real in hopes of getting on stage sooner? Thanks for all that you guys do. I would say You know, a year in, here's what honestly, my brutal opinion, you're not finding your voice. That's just my honesty with being a year in. You could think you're finding some voice, but I promise you're not. It's going to change, and then you're going to be in 5 years be like, oh, that was insane. But I think it's good to think you find your voice. It's good to go through all this. Yeah, during this time, it's tough. You could start a podcast. You could do some YouTube stuff. There's other different ways you could try to be creative. That's definitely not a bad thing to go do. You can try to go to different places and move. You got a great scene in Denver, though. Honestly, I'd probably wait it out unless you wanted to move. I mean, just go down and try to stay somewhere if you want to go try to get up. But I mean, you got a great scene in Denver, man. Denver's a hot spot to be for comedy. I don't think anybody's getting up, so I don't think you're missing anything. I mean, we're doing they're doing like some social distance shows at places, but you're competing also with so many people that have been doing it longer, and no one's getting on stage. So your competition is, guys that I've done it for 17 years. You will be trying to get on the same show I'm probably trying to get on. We're all trying to get on these shows. So I don't know if I don't know if I'd make a big move. I think it's not bad to do. I know guys are doing Zoom shows or make some videos, try to do some stuff creative, write stuff. It stinks, dude. This is just a terrible time. So I wouldn't do anything that's going to be hard to walk back.
Also, don't know if anywhere is reliably 100% going to stay open all the time.
I mean, if you went to Atlanta, like that stuff's going to close. I mean,
Right.
everything's popping up and closing. You don't want to move, and then it's all going to close.
It's like week by week here,
Yeah.
man. It
Go
could
visit.
change any minute.
Go visit the city if you want to, but that's the only thing. I wouldn't make any sudden big moves because of that. But good luck to you, and don't give up on it. Don't quit. This is one of the times that you're gonna think, this would be a perfect excuse so you can tell everybody, I tried it, I just didn't. Hold out. Everybody's having to hold out, so you hold out and just keep writing, keep trying to come up with stuff, and then when you're ready, just hit the ground running and never stop. John Hance. Hello, folks. I've been playing the YouTube version of the show in the background on our living room TV the past few weeks. My wife doesn't really pay much attention, but she catches the highlights because she loves Nate and hears me laughing all the time. After a couple of days, I thought it'd be funny to convince her that Brandon is actually Nate's dad.
Oh my
I mean, I already love this. She is the type that can fall for anything if I say it with a straight face. She's a regular Mick Movicky. I added that in. Without missing the beat, she says, "Oh yeah, I can totally see that." They don't look much alike, but you can just tell he's Nate's dad by the way he acts. I couldn't explain Aaron's relation, so he is difficult. He's officially just your neighbor who's quarantined and has nothing else to do but drop by and talk on the podcast. I don't know how long I can keep this joke going, but I'm literally dying every time I start the show. And I would bet good money you guys could read this comment on the show and say my full name, and she still wouldn't catch on. Please give it a shot, and let's see how long I can make my wife think Braden is Nate's dad. Love the show. Highlight my week. John Hance. See if she heard that one. Hello, folks. John Hance. Here. John Hance here. That sounds like a good sports reporter name.
John Hance.
John Hance. Hello, folks. John Hance here.
It's like Phil name.
Yeah. Maybe that's why I think that. Because it's like Phil Nance.
That's his name. Is Phil Nance, right?
Yep. No, it's not Phil Nance.
What?
Jim Nance.
Jim Nance.
Phil Nance. That sounds like one of the Phil Nance. What's up with breakfast is whistling? Oh, that's a brutal one. So, all right, we're doing it. So this is that was good. We got good comments.
Yeah.
I know people probably talk about the last week's show, but
I thought of another clutch performance.
Yeah,
Paul O'Neill's 2 home runs for that little boy in the hospital.
And the son, yeah. And then what about the next week? He had to catch one in his hat.
Yeah.
I mean,
even more clutch.
How crazy is that? Yeah. Where do you get? I'm not even a home run hitter. One's one thing. Where do you get 2 from? It's a great one of my favorite Seinfeld moments.
Yeah,
is that
it's so funny.
Is Kramer sitting in there with that kid? Can I get some orange juice? He goes after the first hit. He drinks this. By the way, let it be known, Kramer's a stranger to this kid, and this kid has a stranger sitting there alone at the hospital with their child as they watch the Yankee game, and the kid he controlled the whole room. It's unbelievable.
I love it when Kramer said, I need you to do something for me, though. And he's like, I know. Get out of this bed and walk someday.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, but I really need that car.
Yeah, that'd be great. But weather is changing. Temperatures are changing. It's cold here today in Nashville. Last week was good. This week's cold. We have no front door. I explained that last week. If you listen to it, why our front door is gone. That is still very funny to me to think they knocked on the door. Just for someone to knock on your door and then ask for the door is one of the wildest things I've ever been asked.
Yeah.
Anything else, they could have asked for anything. If you told me what you want me to take, I could have almost said anything. Just don't take the door, obviously, because we need the door. And that's what they came for. So weather's changing, and we wanted to do an episode on weather. You guys want to see if we can these guys talk about weather for an hour and a half? I don't know. Maybe. I think so. We talk about a lot of dumb stuff
Right.
for a long time. That's the point of all this. That's why we like coming up with these weird things, because it makes it, you need stuff to go off of.
Mm-hmm.
We need.
Well, and we've got a weatherman on the podcast.
No.
I mean,
So that helps.
You did it.
I did it once in
You did it
college.
professionally.
That's all it takes. That's more than
Nah,
us.
You think you did
Was it
like
professionally?
the way Miriam sang on TV? She said I sang on TV.
You posted that video of
of Bates doing
doing it in college, but I worked at a TV station.
Yeah.
Why
a
did
long
you do it?
time.
Were you filling in?
No, it was a class we took. It was like a broadcasting class, and we
So
all
that
had
wasn't on TV?
No, I don't even think that was on TV.
Oh. That kind of takes the thunder out of it.
I've got some clips of me doing the news in college that I could bring in.
Yeah?
Bring it in, but I could show you.
Yeah, I think the fans are dying for it. I watching George's home videos. They're trying to change you? What are you, like 8? You were they on TV, or they were
on TV.
The college TV?
Yeah. Well, I mean, but it aired in Murfreesboro, like throughout.
Yeah, so everybody saw it at home.
Yeah.
Did your family see it?
They didn't live in Murfreesboro, so they couldn't see it. But I recorded it, and that's why I have it now on VHS.
That's like
tapes.
what was the TV thing that you did? Y'all both do it? That was
the Circle Network.
The Circle Network.
Oh, it's so good.
Where
Describe
can we
how you. So were you on it too?
Yeah.
So
he
they
hosted
did,
one of them.
Hosted a couple
so
episodes.
at all right, take it easy. He goes, yeah, I created it. Oh, okay, sorry. So they did some stand up on a TV shows, TV taping. Did it at Zany's.
Yeah.
All real done taping cameras. I mean, how would I watch it? What would you tell people?
Go to channel 4.5. But you got to have.
That's the but. That's to go to channel 4.5. You're like, that seems weird. Never heard of that being called a channel, but
You got to have an antenna.
Oh.
You got to get your TV remote and switch the input settings to. Well, I guess it depends on how your settings are. Usually to TV antenna.
Yeah.
And then turn to channel 4.5, and then look up when it airs.
Right.
That's all.
Oh, it's not too many hoops. So basically,
That's locally though. 4.5.
Yeah, so if you're in Nashville,
Yeah,
and you want to watch them on the Circle Network, get rid of your cable. Here's the first thing I need you to do.
yeah. You got to have over
Throw
there.
your direct TV out in the yard. Switch to TV. You
Right.
see it real scrambly. You're like, well, that's not good.
Yeah.
Hang on. Go to, where 4, what channel 4 and channel 5 is? I need you to go right in the middle of that.
You got to have an
Yeah.
antenna though.
Oh, yeah, you got to have an antenna.
Yeah.
Well, it didn't air in Nashville for a while.
Yeah. At
So
first.
I made my television debut, didn't know about it, couldn't watch it in the city that it's based in.
For a Grand Ole Opry channel. That's what the network is.
Oh, so it's like, there's people that just know how to get to this channel. There's like an audience that watches this channel because it's the Grand Ole Opry channel.
But it's just
Right.
very funny. It wasn't on in Nashville
Yeah.
originally.
It was just an awkward kind of rollout
Yeah.
because it's a brand new station.
Yeah.
So it was weird. Now it's if you go most places around the Southeast and even some of the Midwest, it's on. You'll see it on the cable listing.
Yeah.
But at the time, it was like I couldn't tell. I made my TV debut. I couldn't watch.
Has
Couldn't watch it
did
anywhere.
anybody text you that like saw it like randomly?
One person told me, but no, I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't get any text.
I had one a thing in Boston on the Nesson, New England Sports Network, and they did a comedy show. We just did jokes about like sports. It was shot in Boston. Kid and Play. What's maybe Kid or I don't know.
That was
Jason?
Play.
Huh?
Jason
Who's
Kidd?
the comic? No, Kid. Is it Kid and Play? No,
Kid Cudi.
no. From the movie in the 80s,
Yeah, Kid and Play.
Kid and Play, and one's a comedian.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think
The one with the big high top.
the lighter skin one. Are you allowed to say that? I don't know, but the Black Men County. It's the. So I don't. Yeah, is he? That's Kid. Anyway, so he wasn't even there. I don't know what I'm talking about. No, he's a comedian, and he went on. I had to follow him, and he had a rough go at it. Let me tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's much of a comedian.
Yeah.
And so it was pretty bad. Like he was just like jumping around. Like it was like they told him like do stuff on sports, and he's like every joke's kind of just got sports attached to it a little
Yeah.
bit,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was flying the other day. They had a sports game on TV. Anyway, can you believe they're selling the peanuts in the thing? We were watching the sports. Everybody had the playoffs were on. What is up with these flight attendants? This girl comes by, peanuts, and then some guy was watching football towards the front. And then, like, that's the only way that's the only way he's including sports. Because the other day, my wife's cheating on me. We were watching baseball. It doesn't matter. And the other day, I go home, and my kid who doesn't like sports, but he just keeps saying, and they're like, I don't know if these are sports related jokes. They're not really based in sports stuff, right? And he's like,
Yeah.
kind of.
I've done that. You have like some themed stand-up shows here in town, like do all Christmas jokes. So you're like, anyway, last Christmas I was at McDonald's and I went through the drive-through and
Do your big,
it had nothing to do with Christmas.
I do love, because I do it too. I always love thing that comics do is if you got a seasonal joke, how to get it back around.
Mm-hmm.
And like, because you can do it, like, I mean, it's in peak form when you got some great Christmas joke and you're like, Christmas season's coming. You have about probably November to February that you could say Christmas just happened or Christmas season's coming, where it's the joke that seems timely. And then those other months, you gotta like, what's your favorite holiday? Mine, Christmas. And then you gotta find a new way to do it. I love seeing that.
I worked with a comic who I worked with during the summer, and every show he opened up with a joke about how hot it was. And then I worked with him several months later in the winter, and I was like, I'm looking forward. How is he good? So he went up. And he goes, man, it's cold out. Remember how hot it was in the summer? It was so hot. I was like, oh, shoehorned it in.
Did I tell the
ponytail thing? Yeah, I love that.
I've told it on this.
I think so.
I don't know if on the podcast.
Yeah. I'll tell if I've told it. I'm sorry. My favorite of that kind of moment was when I was first starting. I moved to Chicago first, and when I would come home, I would then do. I never did comedy before here, like I said. But then when I came back, I would be the guy that came back from Chicago. I'm doing comedy in Chicago, and so we'd go to the Bar Car, which was they had this open mic. And I'd always, every time I came back, I would go up and do those shows. So this one guy, sometimes I would, and one time when I came back in between Chicago and New York, it might have been during that time, but I kind of just lived here for 4 months to save money to move to New York. And so I'm back here, we're doing the Bar Car. This guy has a ponytail. We're open micers. So everybody only really has maybe 3 to 5 minutes of material. And so we're all doing our jokes. And he would just do jokes on ponytails. That's all he did. He had a ponytail. I don't remember the jokes, but he's like talking about having a ponytail, what it's like having a ponytail. Full 5 minutes of just ponytail material. So next week he shows up, his ponytail's gone. He has no ponytail. He cut it off. And so we're like, what are you going to do? All you've ever done is ponytail stuff. And he was like offended that we asked it. He goes, I have other stuff. And we go, okay. So they brought him up. He opens it. First joke he does is not about the ponytail. It's just about nothing. It bombs hard. And then he goes, So I used to have a ponytail, and then just does all his ponytail stuff. And his ponytail's gone. But that was his best stuff. So he's like, I can't belt. You know,
I love that it was that quick. It
Oh,
was like,
dude. The first joke is about nothing, and
Yeah.
just got. And he goes, "All right." So I used to have a ponytail. And he just does his ponytail material, which it like doesn't work. The other one, did I ever talk about this? I don't remember. The happy birthday to Rue. Like, did I ever say that story? It's probably offensive. I don't know. It's not my joke. But when I was in New York, this comic, he used to run. We would run at the Improv or Broadway Comedy Club. Now, Dustin Chafin, who's about to have has a Zoom has a Zoom special out that he's putting out actually now, because this is coming out next week, and I think it's coming pre-sales was just last Friday, and so it's coming out now. Zoom comedy with Dustin Chafin. Go to his yeah. So it's not that, but it's Twitter. And so I'll promote it too next week. But I started with him. Look, I'm the main first podcast right there. He's got a podcast. I'll leave you with this. And so Dustin is who I kind of started with. Dustin was a huge part of my comedy career and helped me do it. So he does. I don't know if any of this is it,
All right.
but we're trying to find it online if you're looking. But
Okay.
I'll promote it next week. But he's a comic that I started with, and he is putting out a Zoom. He's the Zoom comedy of 2020. It's a different way because it's the way we have to do it now. So anyway, so we'd run a show at midnight. And it was this edgy, it was uncensored show, which I always had to do and I never needed to be censored. So this other guy would run a show uptown, and he would always just come and like, if his show wasn't like doing good, he'd be like, hey, he'd like call me, and I was just running the show. I was helping Dustin run the show, and I remember he'd call me and be like, hey, can we have like only 3 people show up for the show tonight. I'm gonna bring them down to your show, and then can I get on stage? So he'd like barter with me.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a couple times you'd be like, okay. But we were like, Dustin's show was like, I mean, it was like it would be midnight, dude, and we would be sold out in this upstairs room that was probably my favorite room in New York. It was just this box, and it was just, I mean, when it was packed, dude, you would murder in there. It was so awesome, and we'd all just be there. These are the stuff that I miss about New York, is just, you'd be out there till 2 a.m, and it's just, doing these shows, just so much fun. A bunch of comics hanging out. Everybody kind of ends their night there after they do shows. And so he would always call me and be like, and we just started being sold out. He's like, I got 2 people and I'm gonna bring them down. Can I get up? And you're like, I'm like, dude, we're sold out. I don't need, but he's just trying to get stage time. And I remember he always have to ride the train down with these people. These are just audience members that he's like, just come ride with me. I'll take you to another show. And they're, it's almost like the quarter thing falling, where you're just kind of like, all right, I guess I'm riding with this guy.
Yeah.
And then you're just on the way down. So anyway, so he had this joke, and it's probably insulting. I don't, it's a very hacky joke. So, but he would say, if you went and had your birthday party at a Chinese restaurant, how would they sing it, happy birthday to Rue, happy birthday to Rue. Like, that's the joke that they don't say, they say ours. And so he would start it. He'd be like, all right, who's got a birthday in here? One night we were there's not that many people there. And he goes, all right, who's got a birthday in here? And no one raises their hand. He goes, nobody has a birthday in here? Nobody. And no one's raising their hand. And he goes, you have a birthday? He goes, my birthday was 2 weeks ago. He goes, what about you? He's like, my birthday's like 7 months from now. He's like, nobody has a, and I mean, it's almost, it's just like, everybody's like looking like, just do the joke, man. Like, and he's like, nobody has, some guy finally just goes, I mean, my cousin's birthday's next week. He's like, all right. So if you took your cousin to have birthday at a Chinese restaurant, here's how they would sing it. Happy birthday to Rue, happy birthday to Rue, happy birthday, dear customer. And then everybody's like, okay. And then he's like, all right, good night, everybody. And he leaves. And so I just remember thinking, why I don't want to ever do a joke where I have to have someone in the crowd go with it.
It sounds like he didn't even need that part of the joke.
No, he doesn't at all. Hey, you ever been in a Chinese restaurant? And here's how they sing happy birthday.
Yeah,
to
right. Yeah.
I mean, you could, anything, but he just does it. You're like, I mean, the joke's already just disgustingly hacky. Like, it's not a good joke,
Yeah.
but it's like the idea that he has to bring someone in on it And then someone's finally like, I mean, dude, people could just tell, like, someone just say it's your birthday.
Yeah.
This guy's not leaving, and he's trying to leave.
Yeah.
There's speaking of Jay had a story. Angel Salazar. I can't remember. He was in Scarface. He's a comedian, and he would always do that where he'd have some girl about Angel Salazar, and he would have he would always talk to someone and be like, "Hey, big guy. Hey, big guy." He'd talk to, like, so he pointed to you. He's like, "Hey, big guy." You'd be like, "Hey, what's up?" And so he does it, and he always goes, "Hey, big guy," and he goes, "Hey, big guy," and the guy's not saying anything. He goes, "Big guy," and the guy's like looking around. He goes, "Hey, big guy." He's like, "Oh, you mean me?" He goes, "Hey, big guy," and he's like, "I mean, I'm not that big of a guy." He was like my size. He's like, "I'm not that big of a guy. I thought you'd be, when you say big guy, it's usually someone bigger."
Yeah.
But Angel never talks to him. He just goes, "Hey, big guy," and he finally has to go, "Okay." He goes, "You got a girlfriend?" He's like, "I don't." He goes, I don't have a girlfriend right now." He goes, "You got a girlfriend?" He goes, I don't have a girlfriend, right?" He goes, "Hey, big guy, you got a girlfriend?" The guy's like, "I don't, I got a girlfriend." He goes, "Huh? And then he said something about your girlfriend. I'm sex with your girlfriend. The joke is like that.
Yeah.
It's just an insult, but he wouldn't let I mean, just the guy to go, "I don't." The guy's talking more than he is.
Yeah.
I'm not that big of a guy. Hey, big guy. Hey, big guy. He goes, I'm not that, you talking about me? Hey, big guy. It's a guy that's done this joke 10,000 times and is like a robot that just he just can't get out of it.
Yeah.
Everyone's big guy.
Everyone's big guy. Hey, big guy. Hey, big guy. And it's like, it's like, shut him off, man. The other one, someone get in that mode was, who was the movie voice guy?
Michael Winslow?
No.
Pablo Francisco.
Pablo
Yeah,
Francisco. I mean, sadly, he had. If you can watch a clip of that, you don't have to show the clip. I don't want to show it, but if anybody wants to look it up, they can. But he like has major drug problems and had just lost it on stage, and so his thing, right, was always like, "Hello, I am Movie Phone," and I mean, this dude made a career. I mean, he's very talented, obviously, and can do a bunch of stuff, but would just tour around, sell out these places for a long time, made tons of money, but had major drug problems. And he was at Punchline Sacramento. I was there the week after him,
Oh, really?
and he was on stage in this video of it, and he's just so whacked out on just so much stuff. I mean, the opener has to go back up there, and he keeps going, "Hello, I am." No, they want to hear it. No, and everybody, he's like, "You got to go, man. You don't know what's good." He's like, "Hello." He just keeps doing the same Movie Phone joke over and over. That was the sad one. But it's like crazy to be like, you're just in this routine. That's what I'm always scared of being. I'm gonna just be up there in Starbucks, and I want the iced coffee with milk, and I'm just like in a corner, just going, "Iced coffee, whipped cream, whipped cream, whipped cream, whipped cream." I'm just keep saying it over and over in some corner.
Brian comes out. He's like, "Hey, Nick, you should probably leave the stage."
Yeah,
Right?
he goes,
Like, "No."
he weaves me out. No, they want to hear
I
it.
think
They
he
wanna
kept saying,
hear
"I'm
it."
gonna get myself out of
I
this."
get myself-
No, Pablo Francisco. I'm gonna get myself
I'll
out of
get-
this. Here we go.
That's what we like.
Like he still knew that he was kind of bombing.
Yeah.
While he was still trapped
Yeah.
in that loop. It's kind of fascinating to watch.
There's not a
Little
comic on earth that
tortilla
doesn't
boy.
think the crowd's bad. I'll get them.
Yeah.
I'll get them. I mean, that's every comic. You go, "Hey, this crowd's like terrible, man," and you go, I mean, I'm sure they're terrible for y'all, like, but I'll get them.
Yeah.
And then you go, "Oh no, they're terrible," and then you go off and go, "I know what you're thinking, but I promise they're terrible." And then you go, "I got them."
Yeah.
And then usually one person gets them and is like, "I thought they were great. I thought they were great."
Thanks to ZocDoc, we can now find and book in-person or telemedicine appointments for medical or dental care. That is helpful for people that are on the go, like us, or work different hours like we do. We all know things. There are things in life that you have to compromise on, like where to film an ad read. But when it comes to your health, there is no compromise, nor should there be. So don't go back to that one doctor who you found because they take your slightly sketchy insurance, right? Or you like the waiting room, or it's close to your house. Like, stop thinking like that. Check out ZocDoc, the place where you can find and book great doctors who will make you feel comfortable and prioritize your health. And you can search by location, availability, insurance, so no compromises here, because with ZocDoc, you've got more options than you know. It's a free app and website where you can search and compare highly rated and in-network doctors near you and instantly book appointments with them online. So, what are you waiting for? Go to ZocDoc.com/Nate and download the ZocDoc app for free. Then find and book a top-rated doctor today. That is ZocDoc.com/Nate. ZocDoc.com/Nate.
All right. Weather.
Well, okay.
Well, we wanted to get into
Yeah,
weather.
right.
Yeah, we all love weather. I think that's true.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. Weather's fun. The 4 seasons, Daniel Toss joke. That's a very
That's a
fun
great-
one.
Would you
Why do you like all seasons? Because we skipped the bad ones.
Yeah, that's why I live in a place that skips the bad.
bad ones. Yeah, he doesn't say bad, but we're a clean podcast.
would you guys be storm chasers?
I would do it in a heartbeat.
Really? Well,
I would do it in a heartbeat. If anybody does it and they do it at a high level, professional level, and listening, you let me know.
Yeah.
And I'll come do it with
you wouldn't want a guy who just does it on his own, just with no certifications?
Maybe. Maybe. That guy could be pretty fun. If that guy is into it, I don't know if there's any certification for any of this.
Oh, there is.
Oh, there is? So you have to go through a thing.
Well, I mean, there's nobody gonna stop
I
you.
used to watch a show. I watched a movie about it. They were filming this. What was the show? It was a Storm Chaser show.
Twister.
No. Yeah. That was a documentary.
I thought that was real.
No, there was a TV show about storm chasing, and during it showed them like how they all lived. They went and stayed in these hotels, and they'd get up every day and go chase tornadoes. And it was on Discovery. It was awesome. And during it, they were trying to film this 3D. They had a car that they're trying to basically get in a tornado
Mhm.
and then film this IMAX version of this tornado. And so one guy that was a part of the Storm Chasers was with them being like, hey, we're trying to shoot this as a movie. Can we go with you? And so they made a car. The guy had a car that was designed to, like, when the tornado is over it goes down to the ground. It was almost like you could get no wind under it to lift it. And the movies played at the Huntsville at the Space Center. You'd see it like at a science museum or something like that. And I went and saw it. It was fun to watch it and then go, oh, this is the movie that they were trying to make. And I watched the show. Okay.
Yeah.
Weather.
It's kind of like your jokes when you watch them being formed, like on the podcast, and then you
Yeah.
get to go see the final
And you
thing.
get to go see the final thing, which is
So, like
what
you're
happened.
in on it.
Like you were in on it.
All right, so you can do it as a hobby. If you want, get in contact with the National Weather Service, and they got some programs. If you want to do it as a profession, they say it's important to note most people don't make a lot of money. Average salary starting out $18,000.
Okay.
So many storm chasers support themselves with a second job, or do it seasonally. But yeah.
$18,000.
Yeah.
And that's so you have to get certified. I would love it. You wouldn't want to go. I mean, see a real tornado, man. That would be insane.
What do you do? What do you try to get inside of it, or what do you do?
I mean, it's kind of what the title is you chase the
you're
storm.
chasing it, but do you get all like?
I think you're trying to. You don't go away. And now, if it comes after you, you're gonna move.
How close do
It
you
is
get
called
to it? You just
storm-
don't follow it
storm running.
at a certain distance.
Yeah. They know how to get. They get where they can
Oh.
really film it.
Oh,
I mean,
I'd do that.
The
sure.
guys that are some are doing it like the movie Twister where they're trying to get something taken up in the.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's people that are trying to, I think, get that close just to understand a tornado.
Mhm.
But when you see them, it's always like most cars going this way and then one car going towards it.
Yeah.
And they're trying to get near it. And so they see a tornado, they're trying to go to the tornado. Justin Smith, who was with me on the One Night Only tour, he lives in Oklahoma. And so we were there when the tornado came. And I know I say tornado. So I know because I say winda. And this
Colorado.
Colorado, yellow.
That was Betas, Colorado.
Colorado.
Yeah.
But he tornado, and so he goes tornado, or tornado Nader. This Nader came over and so we went. It was the big one that they had that like wrecked that town,
Yeah.
and so I was there. I was at a comedy club there, and Side Splitters, I think, or I forget what they have there, but
Looney Bin, Oklahoma
Looney
City?
Bin, yeah,
Yeah.
Looney Bin. So I was there, and the day before they had a tornado go through one of the towns. I want to say Norman, maybe where Oklahoma University is, and it was really bad. And when I went with him out, and I did try to kind of go see what was happening and try to find one, and we just didn't. But I mean, we were just driving in the car. There was something with the I forget now. Where I was listening to the news and they were just talking to someone. I forget what it was. It was very funny how just the news covering of it. I was taking it personal. I think it was like very, it was like, do you see a tornado? And they're like, he's like, yeah, it's real over here. He's like, all right, just do these. He's like, all right, well, okay, I guess I see it, but I guess you don't want to talk to me. Like would say stuff like that. Like they'd go, all right, well, we're gonna come back to you. All right, yeah, I'm the one out here. But yeah, go do whatever you're gonna go do. I mean, I'm the one that is seeing all of it. Would always like kind of say stuff like that right before they go off the air.
Yeah.
And you're like, and she's really making it about this. He's like, all right, thanks, Samantha. We're going to be back to you probably later. He's like, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm the main person here. I don't see. Okay. All right. And then it just would cut off to the next thing. But we went and watched it. And then I flew out that next morning. And I remember I had to fly out early. I don't ever fly out early. I'm usually I try to be like a 10 a.m. to noon flight guy. And I left at I didn't go to sleep. I just went to the airport and left at 5:30. And that big one came through that day. I would have never got out.
Wow.
I mean, I'm not saying I would have died, but I would have been stuck. I mean, that came through. It was one of the worst,
Wow.
But you have the big one here.
Earlier this year?
Yeah. No, not this year. There was one this year, but then the one there was one at night. That's the craziest one. We had one come through Williamson County at night, and a lady died. That's the scariest thing on earth because you don't know.
Yeah. Well, there's one that came through here March 3rd
Yeah.
through downtown, and yeah, it came right over us.
We've got the footage.
Well, that's what I shot from my deck. You can't see a ton.
Will we be able to show this footage? Will Brian not allow it?
We'll see. I'll think
Breakfast
about it.
is like the MLB. He doesn't want his own footage shown.
Why is it?
That's Transformer.
That's like the tornado.
Yeah.
You're tracking it by the explosions, so you don't know where it's at until you see an explosion, and the explosions happen because of it.
Yeah.
A tornado at night is you don't even think about it because I don't think they're like super super common.
Yeah.
Right. All right. We can mute it and just. It's like trying to talk to someone on the phone when they're in the wind. You ever call someone and you're like, okay, I can't. And they're like,
it's footage of tornado, and you're like, all right, it's fine. But I shot myself. And
was
like,
that?
okay,
Did it show the tornado? I saw the explosions.
Yeah, but it's just funny how you just kind of just so blew it off. Like so
I didn't
anyway,
blow it off. I saw the explosions. I don't know what else you want me to do. We have a podcast that has to keep going. I can't stop and admire with silence, and there's just wind blowing through the thing. So I was like, all right, just cut the wind out. I saw the explosions. That was the tornado, right?
That was it going through there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then what else happened after that?
Well, I mean, obviously it just destroyed everything in its path, and it kind of went right over. Our power went out.
Is that the video
of it destroying everything?
Yeah. In the path? Was that the rest of it? The one that you're so mad at me for not watching the end of it? Is that what I missed?
It's just so funny. Like I have a first-hand experience, and you just moved on, just kept talking about other stuff.
I talked about it. We watched 20 seconds of it. Then it was just wind noise. And there's people that can't see this video at home. I don't know if y'all know how a podcast works, but people are not watching this where they're not all in this room. So we have to keep it moving. And y'all just like, all right, dude, okay, I guess you don't want to play my wind noise of this dark tornado that you can't even see on the screen.
You can't see it up there. You can see it. You can see it move across here that night. But I get what you're saying.
No, it's fine.
It did sound like, somebody's like speakerphone with like, yeah, I'm going down the interstate.
Yeah.
The cars rolled down.
And then the
whole
whole
roll his windows up a little bit?
He's like, oh, you've been talking to him for an hour? Are you outside? No, the windows are down. You mean you could have stopped this, dude? You could have stopped it by rolling the windows up? And you didn't? All right. Brian's heroin. Go ahead. Heroin experience. Is it heroin? I don't know.
Harrowing?
Yeah, heroin.
I'll say a harrowing experience.
Somebody I was on heroin.
And a heroin
Take
experience.
a middle mix.
Pretty different. Yeah. You got video of your heroin experience. Let's watch that.
Well, if he shows down on that video, you're gonna see a heroin experience because there's all the drug addicts live right below him.
Well,
so you could have got both. here's a harrowing experience, and here's a heroin experience, and you just show up and down. And because wasn't it all like on your street, you would see fights and
I'd see a lot. Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
You can rent this apartment on Airbnb.
The 2011 super breakout tornado was the worst in U.S. history. The one that went through Alabama and
Yeah.
Tuscaloosa and all that.
Right.
Yeah,
So those are such crazy tornadoes. We were doing shows at Stardome that weekend.
Oh yeah.
I was there with Angela, and we went over to Tuscaloosa, and she bought a bunch of supplies, and we delivered it to people there. But we just got to go through the damage, and it was just so crazy.
we've had it with my high school, Donaldson Christian
Yeah.
Academy. Has been hit with a flood and a tornado. And so the last one that came through this year just ripped my high school up, just ripped it up bad. And we are trying to do a show for them, and then COVID happened. They just really got dealt a bad hand. And I know everybody's still there, and so it was brutal. But I drove over there, and if you go through, I took my daughter, and it's almost like not a bad, I don't know, it's all a bad thing, but like for a kid to see, I don't know, maybe it could go do different ways, but I think it's like good for them to see it.
Right.
Just to be like, look, this is serious. Look, these people. What we noticed is it's always in the bathroom, the middle of the house is always up
Mm-hmm.
in most places. It's kind of crazy to think like you see a bathtub and then maybe the walls in the middle.
Yeah. And
these houses are level. I mean, just leveled. Not we got some wind damage on the roof. I mean, the whole thing's gone. I remember the one that came through Nashville my senior year in high school, 97. And right, 97, 98. So I'd been right in the middle of Volunteer State Community College, getting no credits, taking speech. And I remember I had to go pick up, we had one that came down, God, we've had a bunch of them. Actually, I remember another time. One came down our street, an old house we used to live on. But this one was a huge one that came through Nashville.
Yeah, there's a great video of that downtown.
We're good with the video.
All right.
And no, I'm joking. If there's video of that, show that video. They maybe won't be at night, and this one was during the day. But so I remember watching this one. So it's 1998, and I remember it came through Old Hickory. I always think Andrew Jackson's house, the Hermitage, all these trees. You used to not be able to see the house from the road because there's so many trees, and now you can see the house. And I always thought that was like, that's so crazy. It took that many trees out. And I remember my mom called me and was like, I went and picked my sister up. She was in elementary school, and I went and picked her up. And then my aunt, I think, was at our house maybe. I don't remember. No, it was me, my brother, and my sister. And I went out back and was filming, trying to see if I would get anything. And when it was like happening.
Yeah.
And I mean, nothing came up directly over near us to really see it. But you were at Channel 5.
Yeah, that's footage right there from Channel 5.
Yeah.
Are
I remember
you in
seeing this on the
footage?
news. If you're watching this, we'll
Wow.
post some of this stuff in the Instagram stories or any but
We went right through downtown.
Yeah.
right through downtown.
Yeah.
Wow.
That one was crazy. That girl's trying to open the door and they can't get it open for her. And the
Yeah.
tornado's coming down the street.
That's our front lobby at Channel 5.
You were there.
It
You
was
were in that
crazy.
building.
Yep.
And was it just like a train?
Yeah, I mean, we all went down to the basement.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was crazy. It knocked us off there. And then our building here got hit twice. The flood of 2010.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's when you're that kind of stuff, it's so helpless. It's just something coming through. Whether that's what's so crazy. It's there's nothing you can do. Anything that, obviously a robbery, like, I don't know, there's just stuff you could stop it. There's
Right.
things to stop. Fire, you
can't
can
do
put
it. Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing you do with the fires is roaring, but there's at least hope. Like there's something. A tornado, for some reason, like earthquake feels the same way. We feel an earthquake. The whole earthquake was the most helpless I've ever felt because it's everywhere. You can't run from it. You can't not, you can step here, it's there. You could run half a mile during an earthquake. You go feel it that whole half. Like that's.
was
there's
this when
just
you
no
lived in LA?
escaping it. Yeah. We went to LA. We felt one in New York too. When the New York one happened, Laura was working in one of the big buildings and she felt it. But the one in earthquake, the first one I ever felt was wild, man. I mean, it was unbelievable. It's feeling an earthquake. There's people in California don't even think about them, But if you have never, have you ever
I've
felt
never
one?
felt.
You've
no.
never, you felt one?
I did a terrible gig in Oklahoma. The whole weekend was so terrible. The only thing I got excited about, we had an earth. Like I felt my first earthquake.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it's crazy,
my
right?
hotel room. Yeah,
Yeah, if someone, it's
hated the gig, but I loved
Yeah.
that I felt an earthquake.
yeah. I hope this.
The highlight of
hope,
the trip was a natural disaster.
I hope this plane flies right into a mountain. That's you just hope. I hope this earthquake sucks us all under. It's yeah. These tornadoes. The craziest one. Where's the one in Missouri? It's the biggest one.
Yeah, Joplin.
Joplin goes through. I mean, this thing is enormous. It's I think that it's like a quarter of a mile.
The 2011.
Yeah, it goes through. I mean, it's an E5. Is it E? Is that what they say? E5.
Yeah.
EF5 tornado, and I mean, it's just like it's so big that it's like that's not it. Just scroll through it real fast and see if you just see. It's so big that it just looks like dark clouds.
Yeah.
Like that's how big it is.
Mhm.
And
El Reno, Oklahoma has the widest tornado ever recorded, 2.6 miles wide.
I
mean, that's just wiping out. That's just wiping out of town, dude. That's,
Yeah.
I mean, that's your.
You're right. That's the scary thing about these is you literally it hits and you're like, well, we just got to wait it out.
Yeah.
We can't do anything
You
about
can't
it.
do anything about it. There's nothing you can do. It's so crazy. See these base hunter guys. I ain't go get it,
You
man.
could be one of the
Maybe we'll do that as the Nateland. We need someone
Nate
to come with
hunters.
us. Nate hunters, tornado hunters, tornado hunters.
tornators.
What are you guys riding? The flying penguin, and then we have a penguin that we drive in. That's shaped.
Yeah.
That can handle the wind.
See, I'd be much more willing to do something with a tornado than just about any other natural disaster.
Why?
Hurricanes terrify me. The water element of it terrifies me. There's so much. I mean, they're hundreds of miles.
Yeah.
Across.
Them coming in, they're slow too. Like you see them, and you're like, "Here it comes."
Oh yeah, here it comes. And you can't do anything
Can't
about
do
it.
anything about it. It's
Right.
happening. You can move.
A tornado, it's you can get away from it.
I feel like you're mocking tornadoes.
No,
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't.
you can't just drive a mile to the left and be away from a hurricane.
You can leave 3 weeks before
Yeah.
they say it gets here.
I have
mean,
a
it's
joke
like
about that.
It's got a heads up notice of, hey guys, there's a tornado that's out in the ocean bothering nobody. We think it's going to come here in about a month. If you guys, could you gather your stuff? Some of you could probably sell your home. You have enough time to sell your home.
That's my joke.
Is it what you say?
Yes.
Is it?
Yeah. In Nashville, you could already sold your home for more than you asked for and be living somewhere else.
No.
By
By the time the
hurricane
hurricane
arrives.
gets
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Hey, that's fair. I'm talking about in the context of being a storm chaser and going to
Yeah.
work.
Well, if you go down there and stand in the feel the winds, I think it's relentless, the
Right.
hurricane. But again, you're putting yourself in it, so that's why the fear of it. I don't understand. Tornado just happens. It's there. It's on top of you. It's
Yeah.
But hurricane, you have to go you can avoid a hurricane for the rest of your life.
You can avoid a tornado pretty easily, dude.
How?
I've never come across one. I've been doing
the
much.
wrong attitude.
It's been working for me, dude.
Huh?
It's been working for
You've
me.
never had it. We've had them come through.
No, I'm
here.
from Alabama. They're always but I've never been up in one's face.
No, I know.
Or I don't know
Well,
how to word that.
yes.
Yeah.
The odds but your odds of a hurricane is zero, as long as you don't go near it. But a tornado, you're always walking around with the odds of a tornado can happen. It's just on the table.
In some
Tornadoes
some
can
parts
happen.
of the country. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
We get a ton of them here.
Mhm.
Oklahoma gets it.
We get like 90% of the world's tornadoes, I think, right?
What do you mean by
I pulled that
we?
number out of
Yeah.
nowhere. The United States.
Oh, I thought you
How many
meant
spiders are
Tennessee.
near us right now?
Because I think tornadoes elsewhere in the world are fairly rare.
Yeah.
It's like an American phenomenon.
You don't have them.
That's right. It's our thing. Go USA.
I don't think you have them west of the Rockies, do you?
I don't know. No one ever says west of the Rockies that much anymore.
That's where you have the earthquakes.
I'd have to think about where that's even. I mean, that's like south of the. I mean, that's. I don't know. Mostly Sunbelt stuff, right? You're like, what are you talking about, dude? I don't know.
In the Tennessee Valley?
Yeah. That's like.
West of the Rockies.
Yeah. West of the Mississippi. You guys get what about west of Mississippi? I don't go that far. Yeah.
Hello, folks, to HelloFresh. With HelloFresh, you get fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered. Skip trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. This is why it is America's #1 meal kit. Don't let recipe boredom strike because HelloFresh has tons of options. This Laura does this all the time. Dig into their biggest menu yet with over 45 dinner options to choose from weekly and even more market add-on items that suit any lifestyle. This time of year, everyone's looking to revamp their eating habits. Look to HelloFresh wholesome, health-forward options like over 30 calorie-smart and protein-smart recipes each week. We love it. We love the burgers and the bowls the most. Go to HelloFresh.com/NatelandFree and use code NatelandFree for free breakfast for life. One breakfast item per box while subscription is active. That's free breakfast for life at HelloFresh.com/NatelandFree with code NatelandFree, America's #1 meal kit.
Do they have them? I don't. I'm trying to think if New York's ever had one.
Tornadoes?
They have hurricanes, but
I think they have them. So
I think everybody's got something. That's what's crazy. Everybody gets.
I don't
something.
think like California gets tornadoes, though, do they?
No, I don't think so. Does California's get tornadoes? Look and see if California gets a tornado.
West of the Rockies.
I don't think west of the Rockies. But they get earthquakes.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Everybody gets a thing. I
Yeah.
think New York had a tornado.
You got to go to like Idaho. What's Idaho? They don't got anything going on,
They got a lot going on.
but they're more common than you might think.
2010 average. They had 11 tornadoes. While California, what did it say about Kansas? Averaged 62. 96
And
Kansas.
Oklahoma- yeah,
96. That's so many. But I guess that's all different sizes.
right.
Uh,
And most of them don't touch the ground.
yeah,
The way
most
we
not-
think about it.
yeah, most are pretty weak, right? Most are pretty stupid. That's what I would say, right, Aaron?
I'm trying to put a positive spin on this, dude.
No, I'm saying that
Just-
you're like you don't respect tornadoes.
I hope a tornado follows you home tonight.
I hope it drives right behind your car.
Then I just go.
you try to
I just go
zigzag out of
kind
it.
of fast, and I'd outrun it, no problem.
Yeah, you just
And it
a
wouldn't
little-
pick
yeah.
up an
You-
ocean. And
How
dump
fast
it on
would you
top
go?
of me.
I say I would never get pulled over by the cops. I'm not going
I
that
mean,
fast.
You'd be watching the West Wing. You
think
don't
this
even
is-
see it.
Hey, that's fair. There's a great hurricane storyline in West Wing. You tell me it's insane to be more afraid of a hurricane than a tornado?
Yeah.
Tornadoes are a surprise. Hurricanes are, hurricanes are bad and people stay. But a lot of times when it happens, they can't move. There's circumstances. They go tell them, even Katrina, they were getting everybody out. I'm not saying it tears up a whole town.
Right.
Hurricanes do way more damage. But as far as a human being dying, I mean, a tornado just could pop up on us right now. You could be right behind. Is there one right behind me right now? I mean, they give you that easy that you just
Don't look.
He's always just looking and coming. They come out of nowhere. Think about the ones at night, dude. It's at night. That one that came through Williamson County.
Yeah.
I remember we Harper's asleep. We just went in like a middle closet of the house, and we just kind of sat in there because we didn't know how long it was going to be. And I was watching. It's like 2 a.m. and it's just pitch black dark. I mean, people don't even know that you could be looking at it, and you wouldn't know until you flew away. Like,
Well, you might hear it.
we hear loud
Yeah.
noise, yes,
Yeah.
but you don't know the idea of it. It's not going, here I come, chug, 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 chug. It's making little chugging noises. But you see his video is a great video Brian shot, if you even cared about it. And it's a video about wind sound. And you would see those sparks. Well, those sparks aren't heads up. The sparks is, I'm on you. I'm on
Yeah.
top of you.
Yeah,
So that's, that you're seeing the tornado fly. Crazy.
that's fair.
So, how many earthquakes do you guys think we had in Tennessee last year?
0.
7.
301.
No. What are they counting?
They average a ton of small. There's some small ones all the time in like East Tennessee. Like you just barely feel them.
Yeah.
You feel them though?
In East Tennessee, like
300. That's it. I don't know if I felt one here.
I don't think I felt one here either.
Yeah.
But so California, they keep preparing for the big one. So the last really big one they had was, I guess, 1994, depending on what you consider big, which caused 72 deaths. But the big one they think will hit will be 44 times stronger than that one.
That was the World Series game.
Now, the World Series was 89.
Oh,
So they have a 48% chance of the big one hitting within the next 30 years on the San Andreas Fault.
and so if that hits, what happens?
A major death destruction.
It's not good.
I joked that California would fall into the ocean.
Yeah,
But that was from Superman 1.
that's what he said.
Well, there was a missile that
Yeah,
went to California, but they said it won't fall in the ocean, but there's going to be major destruction.
for just California.
Well, the
Would
West
we feel it
Coast.
here?
The West Coast. No. East of the
Yeah.
Rockies won't.
East of the Rockies. So we're good east of the Rockies.
Yeah.
But if you're in it, it's like all of California feels this.
Oh, yeah. All the West Coast.
Yeah, every state, every part, and it just is like, is it one crack? Is like just gonna, everything's gonna fall down.
Yeah, the San Andreas Fault. They said, I mean, this is years from now. Los Angeles and San Francisco will be close to each other.
Really?
Yeah.
Because they're gonna just.
But they're talking like thousands.
Right.
Yeah,
years.
yeah. That feels like a very loose thing that can.
Well, I know.
Hey, that's again, scientists get to just go.
That's why I almost didn't tell you.
Yeah, because that's what scientists get to do. I could just go out and be like, you know what, Seattle will become San Diego, and San Diego will become Seattle in 1,000 years, and you'd be like, that's crazy. He goes, yeah, I'm a scientist. I've studied this. You're like, I don't. How do you study that? Did you look it up and stuff? He's like, no, I am the lookup. What I write is the lookup.
Yeah, I'm the source.
And then how are we going to, is he going to get in trouble if that doesn't happen? Making outlandish things.
Yeah.
It's a 6-hour drive. It's going to be right now. San Francisco to Los Angeles is a 6-hour drive. It's going to be next to each other. When? Just long enough that you won't be alive to prove. Like that's always the 1,000 years. That means if you could never have your family. Like I would want to now, I'll tell my daughter to tell her kids to be like, don't stop this chain. And I won't be here. None of us will be here. But I want, in 1,000 years, I want a Bargatze to find that scientist's family and go, hey, guess what? It's a little bit farther away than it was.
Yeah.
This is what they think the world will look like
When?
millions of years from now.
Where are we at?
This is North America right here, dude.
So like it's basically like we're a drain and everything's going to just float next to you. That's basically if you're listening, it would be like, well, what if the world became a drain and every country just floated on top of each other? That's what the world's going to look like.
The Penguin Ultima.
Pangaea Ultima.
These are a few different theories of what it'll look. 100
Yeah, dude, I
million
mean,
years in the future.
A child could draw that on a map. I could go get a kid and go, just draw me what you think the world looks like now. I'm going to put it on a website next to my doctor name and tell people this is what it's going to look like in 4 million years. And everybody goes, oh, man, we should listen to that guy. Right?
I don't know who made this. So,
Yeah.
It kind of looks like a kid drawing. Arthur
it looks like a kid trying to draw the world.
Yeah.
And it's real bad.
That's like the weather. We talk about weather people. They always get yelled at, weathermen. They get yelled at because they get weather wrong.
Yeah.
But I always think, for some reason to me, I'm very lenient with that. I don't ever get mad. Like, it's like, what do you want them to do, man? People get furious and you're like, yeah, dude, it's a good gauge.
Yeah.
You're usually going to be happy because it usually means it's supposed to rain all week and it didn't.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, great.
Mm-hmm.
But back off these weather people, man. Like, they're doing what they can.
Predicting the future.
Yeah.
How about this? How about this?
I mean, dude,
this theory where all the other continents go up towards the North Pole and Antarctica stays where it is? So we all just kind of join up at the top.
Yeah, everybody's at the top. We're living on the North Pole. Africa, still going to be hot. Can you imagine they go, God, is it going to cool down a little bit? You're like, actually, you kind of probably get hotter. And you're like, what, dude? Like, I mean, everywhere else is going to be north. Like, we're going to be so cold. And Africa's like, you know what? I wouldn't hate it. That's what someone says in Africa. I wouldn't hate it. and you're like, well, I got some bad news, Madagascar, because you might not move. There's a great chance you won't move. That's what we're guessing, and that's what a scientist would sell Madagascar. He would do a speech about it.
Give yourself some of the most comfortable and versatile clothing on the planet at Viore.com/Nate. We all love our Viore. I'm wearing Viore right now, Ellen. These pants are Viore. All the items we have are great, like the Sunday Performance joggers, which are also available in shorts. Yeah. And the Athletic Core shorts, which could be the most comfortable line athletic shorts. All the pieces are really well made, and it did not wear out like some other brands. Viore is a new outlook on performance apparel, perfect if you're sick and tired of traditional old workout gear. Viore can be worn for any activity like running, training, yoga, but also great for lounging or weekend errands. Viore is an investment on your happiness. Are you happy? For our listeners that are offering 20%, we are offering 20% off your first purchase. Get yourself some of the most comfortable and versatile clothing on the planet at Viore.com/Nate. That's VUORI.com/Nate. Not only will you receive 20% off your first purchase, but enjoy free shipping on any U.S. orders over $75 and free returns. Go to Viore.com/Nate and discover the versatility of Viore clothing today. Scientists have suggested permanently dimming the sun to save South Africa from deadly dry spells.
I mean, who is it? A drunk homeless guy that just shouts these ideas out?
Turn the sun down.
You know what we should do? Turn the sun down.
The plan involves pumping vast quantities of gas into the atmosphere above Cape Town to preserve local water supplies. Research injecting particles.
So furious.
I mean, it's just...
The gas would form a huge cloud above the city that reflects sunlight, dimming the environment on the ground below. I think that's a great idea.
I mean, that's like, you can't yell at us about global warming and then this is the deal. You're like, well, what's your answer for it? We're going to dim the sun or whatever it is. It doesn't make, I can't imagine shooting gases up in the air. Isn't that the main thing? That's the problem. We got too many gases in the air and they're like, I know, but they're not these gases. I mean, unbelievable. Can you imagine someone floats that idea at a science table?
That just came out.
That just came out.
Yeah.
2020.
Yeah.
That's not some drunk scientist smoking a cigarette in a lab. Where doctors baby was born with a cigarette in his mouth, like where there was no rules.
Yeah.
That's 2020.
Wow.
That guy's in the middle of a pandemic.
Wow.
And this is what he's gotten to. You know what? What if we dim the sun? You're like, hey, why don't you not publicly let that get out that you said that? That's what someone should have said to him immediately. What'd you say? He's
Hey,
like, what if
guys,
we dim the sun?
We should just turn the sun down a little bit. Wait, what?
Oh, we're just doing knob and just turn it down?
Install a dimmer, dude.
Johnny, get just Dr. Saddad Khan.
Johnny
Dr.
Red.
Khan, Johnny Red.
Johnny Red on
Who
it,
do you
man.
think did that? Let's say one of the names is Dr. Khan, the other's Johnny Red. Sounds like Johnny Red's idea. You're right. Johnny Red.
Actually, Soar Sogbay.
Soray Sogabor.
Oh, man. Sour Cigar.
Soar Sagor. Soar. Soar, go ahead. Saw your hand up. What if we dim the sun? Soar?
Save your work, Soar, and then get out of here.
Save your... Unbelievable. Save your work. Soar? Soar, don't ever say something like that ever. Right when Soar said it. What if we dim the sun? Can everybody leave except Soar? And then everybody just got up and left. And he goes, Soar, what are you doing, dude? What, are you out of your mind? Dim the sun. You went to college, dude. What? They're teaching you stuff. They're teaching stuff. There's not a dimmer. You know how long it took us to learn to dim lights in a house?
Yeah.
And you want to dim the sun? It's not like we just figured that out. It wasn't like the light was invented, then we started dimming them. You want us to dim the sun? We don't even know. You know how big it is? It's gigantic.
Pretty big, man.
It's pretty big.
Oh, dude.
He goes, it's not that big. He's like, you against tornadoes? It's not that big. It's the least thing
Listen,
I'm
it's
worried.
big, but I'm not.
It's out of all the
not
universe,
the
it's the
biggest
least thing
thing,
I'm
yeah.
scared of is the sun.
A San Francisco geologist made a name for himself by accurately predicting the Northern California's 1989 earthquake. He combed the classified ads for local newspapers and saw that a large number of household pets had run away from home. He made a conjecture that animals can sense earthquakes coming, and he was correct. In China in 1975, right before a major earthquake struck, hundreds of snakes abandoned their burrows and were running through the city. 3 days later, earthquake hit. Thousands of toads are running. There's all these examples of animals sensing it and getting out of town.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine if downtown Nashville had hundreds of snakes going through it, we ought to, I don't know, figure something's going on. I mean, we should look into it. Maybe go buy some toilet paper at the store. But, you know, if I see Holly cowering in the corner one day.
They say they know, that super volcano in Yellowstone, that if it erupts, like the world's over, pretty much. There's a super volcano out there. And they say they're going to know if it's about to erupt if all the animals just start
getting out of town.
Yeah, all the bison and everything just start running. So
see bison. He's got their suitcases as they walk down the. You know, they always show a bison walking down the road. Yeah. He's got his roller bag with him. You're like, where are you guys going? He goes, we're just getting out of here. You know, kind of overstayed our welcome. You know what I mean? Yes. And you go, okay, makes sense. And he's like, one of them's got his thumb out. All the bisons are holding their thumbs out. That's what's going to happen. That's what you're saying on the podcast.
Saying, yeah, all those animals will leave, man.
Where are they going to go though? Is it going to kill everybody? Because the animals don't know. Should we follow?
Well, it's gonna create a nuclear winter. It's gonna erupt, block out. It's gonna dim the sun too much, dude. It's
too much.
It's gonna turn it down way too much, and we're gonna freeze to death.
Soray is gonna have about 2 weeks of being like, "Told you we can dim the sun," and then it gets real bad. He goes, "All right, that was." Well, not this much. Not this much.
Turn it up.
But he has 2 weeks of going. What I say? He just walks in. What I say? You said we couldn't dim the sun? I said we could dim the sun.
Oh, man. That's fun.
A raindrop's terminal velocity is 18 miles per hour.
Oh, it's like a squirrel.
Yeah.
They can survive.
The air located in a lightning bolt is 54,000 degrees.
Oh.
I don't know if I even care. You know, like that's like such a number that's like
it's 5 times hotter than the surface of the sun.
I mean, I'd imagine the sun's pretty hot. Sun's unbelievably hot. You can't get near it. And you're like, it's 5 times more. You're like, does it even matter at this point, man? If I can't get to the near, I need to know how much harder than an oven. That's what they should. I know, but they should do more like they give you something that you can't wrap your head around.
How many degrees hot is it?
54,000.
Okay, so an oven is
300.
Yeah, 300, 350.
All right,
I go 400 sometimes just to save time.
I'm impressed now. You see how I'm just saying they use examples that mean nothing.
So 135 times hotter than an oven.
Some guy got hit by lightning. How hot was it?
I liked what you said.
It's pretty hot.
You should go. I like that you described it better. I would rather hear you on the news go, all right, everybody, your oven's at 400 degrees. And you're like, God, that's kind of hot, right? It's hot. You want to put your hand in there? No, I don't. Now imagine 54,000 more than that. And you're like, golly, dude, that's so hot. And then I can wrap my head around that. Versus it's 5 times the sun, and you're like, well, how hot's the sun? Okay. 400 degrees. You remember how crazy you thought 54,000 was? A little bit less than that. That was in the sun less than that?
Yes.
so
Sun's 5 times less than the...
So you need to do the sun. Yeah.
Get hit by lightning. Wait, how hot was it?
Yeah.
I'm not worried about temperature, man. I got hit with lightning.
Yeah.
Did
it feel hot? He's like, it's more.
I got hit by lightning. It wasn't even that hot, dude. Honestly, it's
to be honest with you, those Icy Hot commercials. That name made more sense to me when I got hit by lightning. It was like once I got hit by lightning, it was like a light bulb went on my head, and I go, I know what Icy Hot means.
Have you been to Hetty B's?
Yeah,
like not the hottest, but
that's what I would imagine. Icy Hot. That's what you would say.
You can tell the temperature outside by counting a cricket's chirps. Count the number of chirps in 14 seconds and then add 40 to get the temperature.
I mean, there's no way. That's impossible. That's just impossible. I don't even hear crickets all the time. So they're
You got to
not,
have crickets.
huh?
You got to have the crickets for it to work.
But are crickets out now? They're not out in the cold.
Well,
It's cold. So
it's
what do you
like
do
Kramer
then?
telling the time.
Yeah.
What about at night?
Right. Well, it's a little bit harder, but I can still get within 2-3 hours. I mean, yeah, that's like you want to, I don't know, 20 degrees, I don't know, 30. What are the crickets? Add 40. Can you, I mean, hey, we got to go. Well, now we got to start over because you just talked and I lost track of the cricket chirps. So if you want to go, maybe don't talk while I try to count these cricket chirps.
I think that's amazing.
That is amazing.
I don't know how someone figured that out, but
Well, when you make something up, you don't have to have anybody figure it out. I mean, that's how. When you just some guy says that. I don't know if that's true. You can't sleep with your feet in socks because they can't breathe. That's my joke that my dad told me when I was a kid. I
Yeah.
don't sleep with my socks on my feet. That's not true at all.
Mhm.
But that sounds like I could say that. You'd be like, wow, your feet can't breathe.
I know. Next time you hear some crickets, you're gonna count them.
You're going to count them.
My
What's
set
it,
tonight.
14, then add 40.
How many times? Wait. So what is it?
the number of chirps in 14 seconds, and then add 40 to that number.
So you're 10, and then it's 40.
That sounds so made up, dude.
Yeah.
I believe it, but it's okay.
The real thing.
That's a number that would be tough to get to. 10 seconds, you'd be like, I have the time for that. 14, you're like, I'm not. And you could always be a little bit off because like if it was 15, you'd be like,
Well, one place I read 15 seconds and then add 37.
I mean, that's the same. So like that would be so 14 and add 40. So you'd be like, or you could just do 10 and add 46. You're like, what are you doing to me? He goes, or just do 1 second and add 61 next to it. That's what it would. That's honestly what the math ends up being. It's like he gets down to someone just starts counting these chirps, and he goes, "I don't have the time for it." He goes, "Hey, look, I get it. Everybody's got a busy day. Listen for one cricket. How many chirps? 1 second. Add 60 to it."
And that chirps in 1 second.
And then the other guy goes, "Well, I'm supposed to be 4. You're doing my 14. That's like 3-minute abs." And he goes. No, everybody does 5-minute abs, man.
There's something about Mary?
Yeah, something about Mary. I'm doing 3-minute abs. Mine's in 3-minute abs. It's better.
Takes a snowflake 45 minutes to 1 hour to hit the ground.
How do they know that?
I don't know. You got a good little ballpark. I mean, that's 45 minutes to 1 hour. You got a 15-minute window
Yeah.
to go. How do they time
It
that?
could be your first set or your second set of your special. I don't know how I guess I gotta
Now. 45
starting-
minutes to 1 hour, starting now. All right, lost it. Hold on. Okay.
There's a lot of them.
This is brutal. Let me start again. Hold on. No, don't stop. All right, I got it again. I got it back.
When Hurricane Andrew hit Florida in 1992, it was a Category 5 hurricane. It destroyed a python breeding facility, and 900 pythons escaped. They have now pythons have destroyed the Florida Everglades. 99% of rabbits and foxes have basically disappeared, and raccoons and opossums are almost all gone.
I didn't think that it was. I thought I knew that there was the python problem down there, but I thought it was pets.
Well, that
That's
was a
what
problem too. A lot of
Yeah.
people are just turning them loose.
But
But this really sped it up,
this-
900
yeah,
at once.
This didn't help.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. That's a good. That should be in your argument for hurricanes.
Yeah.
If you want to argue hurricanes
Listen,
over
I would have
tornadoes,
gotten to that for sure, but I was cut off a few times.
yeah, we didn't let you get to that. You're about as on the tip of your tongue, like a
Right.
snake. And they, on the flip side of that is, but that should definitely be in your argument to go. Pythons are a problem now.
Right. Yeah. They destroyed did a tornado destroy the Florida Everglades?
No, hurricane did. Oh, by the weather, you wish. Much worse.
Right.
You get paid money to catch these snakes. Guys do it.
Oh, yeah?
It's like maybe $500 or something.
Yeah, it's a
A
lot.
snake. I mean, guys just go out and catch because they got to get them. They got to get them reined back. It's too much. They're destroying. They have no predator. They're
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Is there how many like do we have any live? I don't know. I was thinking, is there? I did a joke about tigers. Is there any tigers in the wild in America that are in the wild that they would know?
Not in America.
Oh, that got loose somehow?
Yeah, they maybe got
Oh.
loose and then they've become.
There was supposedly one in Knoxville recently, right? But I think that turned out not to be true.
Like, there's got to be any ant, like, lion or tiger. Is there anything that's not supposed to be here? That's just,
That's
but
on the
that's not in a
loose.
zoo or didn't. But like now we just think, like, does America?
No, tiger got on the loose in Knoxville
Oh, that was from a zoo.
recently. Yeah.
But yeah, so there's no like, because they would have to you just got to tell America, hey, America, we live with a tiger now, and we don't know where it's at.
There's one somewhere in America.
Somewhere in America.
But if it got loose from a zoo, what does it matter where it got loose from? As long as if it's missing.
Well, if it's in the wild, if it's missing,
Yeah.
and usually they find those.
Yeah.
But I mean, this one would probably have to get like that. That'd be a very, that'd been a crazy news thing to hear. My craziest one I remember hearing was in Arizona. I might have talked to this. I don't know. I talk about a lot of stuff, but they was when they said, "Don't go to Juarez, Mexico. It's a lawless place. It's a lawless town."
Yeah.
And I remember I was next to Juarez because it was like when I was 21, and then so I saw it on their local news, and they say tonight, everybody, don't go to Juarez. It's lawless right now.
Oh.
And that's always stuck with me. It's the craziest thing I've ever heard on the news.
Yeah.
Just to be, hey man, don't go. They can murder you in the street.
Absolute chaos.
And nothing will happen to you. There's no police there. It's just craziness.
Wow.
Yeah.
Water spouts near dry land can make sea creatures rain down from the sky.
Jeez.
Fish have been known to get sucked into them in fall.
Oh wow.
Lightning strikes the Empire State Building around 25 times a year.
That'd be more than that. That's not as many as you think. I mean, it's up there. It's asking for it. You think it'd be
Twice a month. Yeah.
Huh?
It's twice a month.
I know, but how much lightning is there? I mean, there's 300 earthquakes in Tennessee that I've ever felt. I would think that the Empire State Building gets struck more than 25 times. That's not that many. I would think in a night. If you told me, if you heard it was 25 times a night, you would be like, oh, I believe that during a thunderstorm.
I mean, I see what you're saying. That I could see it being much more than that.
Yeah.
According to some, the amount you can predict the weather, how bad it's going to be by the color of the woolly worm. The amount of black on the back of the woolly worm varies in proportion with the upcoming weather. The longer the woolly worm's black band, can you pull up a woolly worm?
Yeah.
The longer the woolly worm's black band, the longer, colder, snowier, and more severe the weather will be. The wider the middle brown band, the less bad the winter will be.
It's just, I mean, there's no way that's true. It's like,
This isn't a scientist thing. This is farmers.
so now we're listening to, I mean, that should be out the gate. I would enjoy the information more if I would have been told, this is my neighbor. Who said this? My neighbor. There's, that seems, yeah.
That's so funny.
That doesn't, he goes, I'm going to have.
That's just what some farmers think.
That's
It's
just,
from, like, you guys heard of the Farmer's Almanac, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. They kind of use some, I think it's fun to use some kind of fun.
I'm
Ben
not saying
Franklin
stuff's
did
not fun.
Ben Franklin did
fun.
the first one, right?
That's poor Richard, right?
Well, still an almanac.
I think, I don't even know what y'all both were talking about right there at all.
Have you ever heard of Ben
Poor
Franklin?
Richards, I thought was a bar. Isn't that a bar in something?
That's the
On
bar.
The Office?
That's the bar
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
office.
yeah.
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 We've truly segued.
Yeah.
A mirage. You guys know what a mirage is?
Yep. It's in Vegas. Stayed there twice.
Optical illusion. Not a hallucination.
See, that's the part. You guys know what a mirage is? Yep. Okay, move on. All right.
That's all. That's what this podcast is. What do they do? They just ask them if they know something, and they say yes or no.
Yep.
Yep. And they go, so they say yes, they move on. They go, oh, that's crazy. So no, they explain it. It goes, no, they still move on. They just get a yes or no. Get a yes or no from them.
I'm losing it. I'm losing it.
I always thought a mirage from cartoons was like you see water in the desert and you run and jump, but that's a hallucination. That's not. You can take pictures of mirages. Mirages are real things. It's atmospheric conditions that cause them, but they're not just like in your head.
Oh,
It's like you're so far away from something. The shape of it looks.
And
like
we've
one
seen that.
thing.
You guys seen that on hot roads, right?
yeah.
Yeah. So that's
Yeah.
a sundog. You guys know what a sundog is?
I talked about sundog
Yes.
because they just saw a UFO. Yes. No.
Oh, what?
You don't know what sundog is. What's the matter with you, Aaron? You don't know
Sorry,
what
dude.
sundog
That was
is,
so
do you?
funny when he was like, "Y'all know what a mirage is?" You just go, "Yup."
Yep. Next.
Oh, man, we're really cooking now.
We got a lot of questions to get through.
We're really rolling.
We got hung up on woolly worms too long, man. We gotta get to the back end of this. I mean, we got chirping. You count how many times a woolly worm farts and add 50, and you can tell how what your house feels like when you go inside of it.
What is the sundog? I'm looking at it, but I don't know.
The only thing I brought up sundogs because I follow some UFO thing on Instagram, and there's a sundog, and then they said they thought a UFO came out of the sundog, and then I'd never even heard. They weren't even talking about the sundog. The sundog wasn't even. They talked about it as if
Everybody knows what it is.
So this sundog, obviously, and then this UFO comes out of it, and then no one brought. I was like, well, what's a sundog, man? Like,
Let's back up a little bit.
Yeah, that's just, and it was square. It makes around the sun. It's not as UFO spotted during sunset. All right, yeah. All right, we're about to be.
Yeah.
This is where do we have? Is that all the weather stuff? Weather. There's probably a ton more.
Yeah, there's a ton more here.
Is there any other fun that's like something crazy?
Let's
Something
see
you
here.
thought like it'd be.
Well, I thought a lot I thought would be impressive, but
I got one, maybe.
all right, let's hear it.
The loudest noise ever in the world. Krakatoa, when Krakatoa erupted.
Oh, the
in
meteorite?
1880s.
Oh, never mind.
The volcano.
Yeah.
When it erupted.
Yes.
The
Everybody knows the Krakatoa.
All right.
No, I don't know the Krakatoa. I'm just.
It was a big volcano.
Yeah.
It erupted. It was so loud. It's the loudest noise ever. It circled the earth like 3.5 times.
Yeah.
Loud. People.
Everybody heard it.
People 50 miles away, their eardrums were ruptured. It was heard all over the world.
All over the world.
Yeah.
3 times around.
The sound traveled 3 times around. It was so loud.
So we would have heard it here.
I don't know. I mean, it was
not
in
all over the
Indonesia. It was registered by like the devices.
So the sound heard around the world.
The Richter scale.
Don't think I'm crazy by going. So I would hear it. And
Yeah.
you're like,
No. I know
technically-
you're not crazy.
It's like technically not.
Maybe the first time around you heard it. I don't know about
Yeah.
the second or the third time around.
Yeah, but even to hear it at all,
Is pretty crazy.
But
It
we
was
don't
in
know.
Indonesia.
Indonesia.
conveniently in 1880.
When all the continents were together,
In 1880.
Yeah.
and then they spread out.
San
Yeah.
Francisco is more
It's
by
spread
New
out.
York.
Yeah, San Francisco. Yeah.
I'm listening. Go ahead.
It's been a busy 100
it
or so
goes.
years.
Yeah. Seattle was more of a Russia thing. Go ahead.
That's about it. I was pumped to talk about that, but I think
That's
I
pretty
kinda
cool.
lost- I lost some
No, I
steam.
mean that's pretty insane.
Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah.
loud.
Yeah, and it's just when it exploded,
Mm-hmm.
and then everybody. I don't know why. I feel like I should have heard about this before.
Well, it was a long time ago.
I know, but it says I can't imagine anything that the whole world could hear.
You think anybody was sitting home like, what was that? Or they just kept
Yeah,
going?
that's what I mean. Is it like
Right.
it just registered the sound, or am I watching TV and I just hear, "Boo," and you're like, "What was that?"
Did you hear something?
Yeah, did you hear something?
You mute the TV?
Oh, that was Krakatoa in Indonesia. And then everybody just went back about their day. They didn't go, well, that's crazy.
So this is pretty crazy the way they have this worded, this article about it. It says the Krakatoa explosion registered 172 decibels at 100 miles from the source. This is so astonishingly loud that it's inching up against the limits of what we mean by sound.
Tell me what a rock concert decibel is.
Yeah. Do y'all know about
Do an
decibels?
oven. If I
That's
shut
like
it,
a loud rock concert. Is like, oh right,
120.
So
What if you
172 is insane, right?
Church is roughly 90.
What if you slam an oven door? That's
Yeah.
at 400
let's
temperature.
do.
How loud would that be?
How hot was that volcano? That's
How
what I
hot,
want
yeah.
to know.
Well, that's 172, and a Kiss concert's 120.
That's
Kiss,
pretty.
But
So
that's 100 miles away from.
Okay,
Yeah.
I was supposed to say Kiss probably goes around the world.
So
at
if
least
you were
twice.
near it, if you were near it, it would just almost kill you.
Yeah.
Would the sound just kill you? Would it like just shatter your?
Super close, you would just die from the volcano itself. the
Oh, you would be
explosion.
like, oh, did the sound do it? You're like, no, it was actually the lava.
It was
You're
actually
like,
it was ash.
I'll be honest with you, I don't know if he even heard the sound because he died so quickly from the lava.
The lava was so hot. He had his
He would
hands over
be-
his ears.
Upset that he didn't get to hear the sound.
Right.
I know him, and he would have been the guy that's going, I didn't get to hear the sound. You're like, shouldn't have been that close.
He died real quick.
Should we? What's that volcano that might explode? Or
The super volcano
yeah.
in the Yellowstone.
Should we just live on it? Because that means like you just go when it happens. When it explodes, you're like, it's over.
Instead of moving, just get right
It's
on
like,
top
what are you
of
going
it.
to die a year after it happens, slowly, or just get up in it, and then just when it happens, you don't even know.
The last volcano in the U.S. that erupted was Mount St. Helens in 1980.
Yeah.
57 people were killed.
Did y'all cover that at Channel 5, or was that more of a?
I'm sure
NBC?
we did.
Beep, boo. There's-
Do you want to talk about Yellowstone or?
I don't have a lot to
I
say.
mean,
It's just
yeah,
it's
we're-
real scary and
yeah.
it's gonna happen at some point.
Yeah. If you don't donate to Wikipedia.
If you don't, that's right.
Hello, here Wikipedia. We're the only things keeping Yellowstone crack attack from cracking again. Did they call it crack attack after it cracked the loudest? Is that what the name?
Krakatoa.
Well, Krakatoa.
Attack.
It's where Sorge is from.
Crack attack would be a
Wait,
better.
Crack attack.
Yeah, it was attack of Kraken. Krakatoa, when did they call it? Did they call that after it? It made a loud
No, I
cracking
think that's
sound.
what it-
What are the odds the loudest sound ever from something is called crack attack? Krakatoa.
That's the name of the island. I think.
How would they know how loud it was? Like in decibels.
Well, when you're 100 years ago and no one can look anything up,
140 years ago.
Well, I think they still had like seismographs
just on the go there.
back then in the 1880s. I think
Okay.
I don't know if they had cars.
you're right. They did.
No.
But they had that.
Yeah,
I don't think lights could be dimmed, but they can
I don't-
track noise from Indonesia. They were still going, whoa. All right.
Oh man.
I think we did it. We
Okay.
did weather. We might be back at a weather one.
Yeah, that was
We
fun.
won't do a part 2, but we might. We're going to throw weather. Weather's pretty fun. There's
Yep.
a lot of fun stuff.
Yep.
All right, everybody. If you listen to this, thank you so much. As always, we love you guys very much. Leave your comments, everything. Nateland at natebargatze.com, right? Instagram, Twitter, YouTube.
Yep.
Keep rating us. That rating us is huge. And all those 5-star ratings we got, we'll be like you go somewhere, you got to give us 5 stars. If you're not, don't do it. But do whatever. We love you very much. Bye. Nateland is produced by Nateland Productions and by me, Nate Bargatze, and my wife Laura on the Audio Boom platform. Recording and editing for the show is done by Genovations Media. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to catch us next week on the Nateland Podcast.